I have Yoba Development.
What type of opportunities are you looking for in the space?
So our primary NAICS codes are around storytelling is one, right?
Okay.
So media, communications, and then project management broadly. This is financial literacy. It is civics. It's entrepreneurship. It's community building. It's economic mobility. For instance, we got a contract, like the first contract we got with Department of Defense was essentially project management contract. For me, the passion has come from the process of having to figure out how these things work.
Right.
But what I have found is that you can find passion in the process. The problem is that...
Sir, how are you?
Oh man, I'm running today, brother. So up to a lot in the entrepreneurial space, specific to GovCon Giants and stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
So we started Yoba Global Solutions 3 years ago. My family, three family members, and a childhood friend. So I became aware of the 8A program at a real estate conference, where most of my core business has been, from an entrepreneurial perspective, it's been in real estate development. And at a conference screening a documentary about my journey in real estate development, I heard about the 8A program. And at the time I was doing contract work with the city through my real estate stuff, primarily around education, those contracts with Department of Education, introducing kids to real estate development, which led me to learn about the 8A program. Met a beautiful woman named Paula Watts, who started GPI Win, to teach folk like myself, like, you might be getting them city contracts, but you need to know about the federal game. I was like, what you talking about, lady? And so my family and I went through this 18-week course that she teaches to show people how to play in this game, similar to the work you do. And part of the homework was to go to our first contracting 8A conference.
Okay.
And that was 3 years ago, or two and a half, almost 2 years ago, I guess. And then this whole world of government contracting has been open to us. And so because we have I have a background in education, and I'm always thinking about, as I learn things, how do I teach people that I know? So whether it's real estate, whether it's this, it led me to being introduced to you through our friend Venus Quates of Launch Tech. And so here we are.
No, Venus is amazing. If you don't know Venus Quates and Launch Tech, look her up. She's like a 4 or 5 time Inc. 5,000 award winner. She's doing amazing things in the tech space. So we thank her for introducing us. Now, we've been talking, and you've done some projects already, and you've done some speaking gigs for the government. What are you seeing out there as you're traveling around the country, right? Talking at these different events and speaking. I know you did some stuff with DOE, DOT as well. What are you seeing the landscape looks like out there?
Well, there's multiple landscapes right now. The landscape could be a rocky road, depending upon who you are and what you're driving.
Sure.
But what I saw from 22, when first got the window, sort of aperture open, like, look over here, government contracting. What I saw was...
Are you frustrated and you still haven't figured out how to do federal contracts just yet? Join us May 28th, our next cohort for our GovCon Accelerator. Visit below govconcoaching.com for more information. But we've got all new 2025 trainings. We've got new templates. We've incorporated some of our past boot camps, like our first partner challenge and our proposal boot camp that's included. Plus, we're bringing in industry experts to help teach some of the trainings and provide some of the additional resources that you need in terms of learning from people who are actually doing this in the field. No one else is doing anything like this. In addition to all of our email scripts, phone scripts, everything that's in our GovCon Vault that has all the templates that you need that you can plug and play into any of the AI tools. Plus, depending upon where you're at, we've got new AI tools to help automate the process of doing the activities that formerly took hours and hours and hours. They're now taking minutes using AI in some of our other programs. If it sounds like something that you're interested in, visit govconcoaching.com for more information. We look forward to seeing you on May 28th.
What I saw was a lot of people who were excited about what this infrastructure bill had done in terms of deploying capital into the economy, into the hands of small businesses, into government contractors, particularly people that look like us. And so there was a level of enthusiasm like, yo, there's more money out here on these streets than we've seen in a generation.
Right.
This is where it's flowing. From a contract work perspective, you need to go and sort of follow some of that trail. So Department of Transportation was one of them. Obviously, Department of Energy, you mentioned, DOD. And so I saw a lot of enthusiasm. I saw how the fact that people may know me from film and TV, that opened up doors that may not open up for other people as quickly. So the social currency is real, but for me, it's been about, if I'm gonna be able to open the door, then I'm gonna make sure other people can come behind me, and we're gonna teach them how they can know that, number one, this is your tax dollars. You have every right to play in this space as anybody else. Know that, for us, especially as black folks, we got a complicated relationship with the government. It's a government cheese, federal prisons, right? Food stamps. So I think that people don't always think about partnering with our country to execute the work on behalf of American people is a viable option. So I saw a lot of people like Venus. Well, Venus is special, but there are people that we've encountered who have been very helpful in saying, hey, look over here, meet my guy Eric. He's doing some great stuff. Talk to this person over at this agency. Talk to this person. We've had a good amount of mentorship and education and a sense that people really want you to win.
Right. Right. What type of opportunities are you looking for in the space?
So our primary NAICS codes are around storytelling is one, right?
Okay.
So media, communications, and then project management broadly. We have different skill sets under that, but it's really the reason why I enlisted two of my sisters and my cousin and our childhood friend is because they were all skilled out in different areas. Like, so a cousin he's a GC, so he does general contracting. My sisters have done a lot of work in grant management, business development, business management. And so it was about, how do we bring your skill sets to do work for the government? So the opportunities that we're looking for is to be in support of companies that need that kind of expertise.
Right.
Storytelling is a big one, as we know,
right?
Because most people don't know how to tell their own stories, whether it's B2B, working with other contractors to help tell their stories. Some of those opportunities have come, as well as opportunities to help tell the government story. And then as we get deeper into the space, we'll be able to execute from some of our other skill sets, but initially it's been around media services and project management.
Nice. Do you have any upcoming events that you're going to be attending this year?
Attending, so we just left the 8A / small business conference. I think November 5th, I'll be back here in Miami at the GovCon Giants.
My man, let's go, baby.
event. And there's some other ones coming up that we will be at. But we have our own stuff. So the entrepreneur side, right? So from the Yoba development side, which is my real estate development company, which is set up at the intersection of real estate, education, and media, which is why Venus thought we should meet. You got media, you're doing education, you're driving business. And so we have our activation called Flipping the Hood, which happens May 9th and 10th in New York City. And people can go to yobadevelopment.com and find out about that. The registration link is not up yet, but that's happening, and that's something similar to what you do, right? Bringing people into a space to make sure you can create, for community connection and capital, right? So that people can connect, they can do their JVs, in this GovCon speak, whether it's teaming agreements or mentor-protege. But the idea is that we have an opportunity and responsibility to make sure other people can eat and they can win through collaboration. And for us as a people, the only way we're really going to get there is working together. Right.
Yeah. You think that's now more important than ever?
Baby. Listen, we've been distracted. We've been the beneficiaries of creature comforts that, we say our ancestors. I was born in 1967. 2 years before we were born, we couldn't vote. right? The Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, just a couple of years before I was born.
Right.
So I'm basically in black and white. I look like an old photo, but people think it's a long time ago, but it's not a long time ago. And I think that we really need to, not just need to, it is happening. Part of what we need to do is amplify those instances where it is happening, because I think people could tend to feel like, man, we don't really work together, but we do. There's a lot of, you and I, how many months has it been?
Yeah, no, it's been since last year.
Yeah.
I mean, probably September.
Exploring ways to collaborate. We came really, really close with an opportunity, which we will have that opportunity.
Still have something in the pipeline.
Yep.
Right now, we're working on something. It's in the pipeline.
Yep.
So that's going to come down soon.
Yep.
And, and then also you've connected me with some other people that we've pulled into some other things that we're working on the side as well, some other teams. So, no, I agree with you. I think that's why I like to come on and talk to people, because they don't get to see this, right? And they don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and they don't know that we're even connected.
Right.
And so I think when people see that, there'll be more opportunities for all of us, and then we'll say, hey, look, we're working together, and we come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer. And obviously, you're in an entertainment space, or storytelling space, as they can say. We say entertainment space.
Nah, look, I done entertained y'all people for a long time. long time I've been on your screen doing things. No, but I've always been an entrepreneur, right? I had a paper route from 8 years old to 16 in Harlem. I've had a restaurant for 9 years. I've had a marketing company. I've had a touring theater company. I've invested in different businesses. So I've always been business oriented, even as an actor. I mean, damn it, when you're an actor, anybody you see on television or film,
right,
they have their loan out corporation. They have an S corp already, right, that they have to set up to get paid through. So you are already the CEO of You Incorporated. And the challenge, if you're just an actor, is that you're always waiting on somebody to give you a job, which has never been that's never been my bag. I've always been, as my father said, always would say, build your own generator, so when they turn off the power, you still have lights. Hollywood can be a fickle place. Obviously I've had a long run, and it's not over, but this space of entrepreneurship is where we have to get to as a community, and we have to do it in fellowship. And
and you're going to help me make my content better, more exciting, reach
like, why are we shooting in front of this blank wall? I walked in here, I was like, bro. So just as a for instance, right? Your DP back there, she did some set dressing, as this is called. But if we were making a film or doing TV, right, you'd be on set. They'd be like, at least put a photo or a plan or something. But you're at a conference, you work with what you have. But no, if we can definitely help from the storytelling, and you got a lot that we can learn from.
Yeah. Well, and also,
you got a lot, because you know a lot of people, you've been doing a lot of stuff, and you're really smart and you're really strategic.
Thank you. Well, listen, just so you know, we didn't ask permission to come here. So I just showed up. I just rolled up in this joint.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I just rolled up, and I was like, yo.
Look like you belong.
Hey.
No, I'm with you,
I rolled
baby.
up. I wasn't even on the list or nothing. I rolled up, and I'm like, hey.
I thought we were going to shoot right outside in front of the boats and yachts. Make these people see what they're missing. Actually, what we should do, just to keep it sexy, and something you probably haven't done, because you got these cameras here and we got these mics, we should shoot some exterior stuff you can cut together.
All right, well, listen, what do you want people to know as we're closing out before we go back and shoot our B-roll?
Listen, what I want people to know is that we all belong. We all have a right. I want people to know that it's okay if you feel fearful, if you feel uncertain, if you don't know where to start, that it's okay not to have that information. It's okay to ask questions. Obviously, they can go to GovCon Giants and get the information. I'm gonna always promote Paula Watts and GPI Win. That's another resource. That we got God, we got Google, we got ChatGPT. There's no reason why you can't get information on anything that you're interested in. I can't tell you how many people I've tried to put on to this game, and I'll follow up with like a Paul and say, hey, I just spoke at this conference and people got excited, and I had them take notes how many followed up. And not often enough people do. A few have over the years, but that's on them. But I think we should know how our money moves in our country. This is financial literacy. It is civics. It's entrepreneurship. It's community building. It's economic mobility. It's all of those things. And so as a person who's an artist, right, in my heart, and but I'm many things, right? I'm a bit of a Swiss Army knife. A lot of times people could feel, well, I just need to do the thing I'm passionate about, right? Like, this would have been inconceivable for me, to be honest with you, probably 15, 20 years ago, if not more. Right? I was like, I can't do that. Like, and I knew people who did it. I used to play golf with a guy who used to do food services for the military and was making millions of dollars. And but I was like, nah, whatever. I'm over here doing my thing. But what I have found is that you can find passion in the process. Right? It may not be the thing itself, right? For instance, we got a contract, like the first contract we got with Department of Defense was essentially project management contract. It was a sub, basically providing manpower or staffing for an armament shipment, right? But the creative process of having to make that happen, when Venus flipped us the opportunity and said, hey, can you make this happen? Then that's where your strategic mind gets into play, right? That's where your creative mind to figure things out. That's where your network, right? Who do I know who could actually fulfill this, right? And you're putting opportunity in front of people, and you're building relationships. For me, the passion has come from the process of having to figure out how these things work,
Right.
Because I'm a eternal learner, right? I always want to know things, and so I have found, even as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, as an actor, as a writer, as a producer, there's a lot of value in this space, because, as we well know, government doesn't always do a great job telling their story. Although we're living in a time right now where you're hearing a lot from the government,
Right.
and it's deliberate,
Right.
and people are very intentional about, how do I tell the stories we want to tell that's going to have an emotional response,
Right.
that's going to unsettle people,
Right.
and make people feel like they don't know which way is up.
Right.
That's the power of story.
Right. Listen, I appreciate it, and I hope that everyone takes heed, they see what's happening, and we come together, and we reach out for help, and we don't sit back in silos and ponder and pontificate about what can be, with possibilities. We're showing you all types of people who've come into the space, who've done amazing things. We've given you examples of people reaching back to help each other, and we're kind of give you an inside track on what we're doing as well. So you see it here. We're gonna go out and shoot some content so we can make it a little bit more sexy.
That's right, baby.
But,
we're in Miami, baby.
We're in Miami.
This way we can use the voiceover while we walking out there and look at the boats. We can reference how, see, we work hard, Eric. Watch how she's gonna cut this together.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, like, because people have said to you, Eric, you need to shoot coming out of your fancy cars.
Yeah, right.
Make it sexy, and you've been focused on, no, I want people to understand it's not about the materialism,
Right.
but these things can be the benefit,
Right.
of, or the result of, the work that you put in. But being able to sit out on a yacht, be in sunny Miami, looking at the water, looking at what's beautiful, that's the backdrop, but the real work is what happens when no one's really watching.
Right, absolutely.
See how I reference all that? Then when they cut it, they can cut to the yachts and all that shit. See, I'm thinking ahead, baby.
All right, let's do it, baby.